Hello guys, it's Miss Garcia. Welcome to Math City with Miss G. In this video, we will talk about rhombus. Rhombi is the plural of rhombus. Rhombi have the same properties as of parallelograms, and these properties are mentioned down below. Let's start with the first one, and that is opposite sides are parallel. So let's refer to the figure on the screen. So if I am going to focus on the side JM, so segment JM is parallel to segment KL. Another example is segment JK is parallel to segment ML. The second property is opposite sides are congruent. So congruent simply means that two sides, in this case, two sides have the same measurement. So if I am going to start with side JM, so segment JM is congruent to segment KL. It simply means they have the same measurement. We also have segment JK is congruent to segment KL. Another property is the third one. Opposite angles are congruent. So what are opposite angles? So we have this angle is congruent to this angle. So that if we are going to name these two angles, two sets of angles, we have angle JKL is congruent to angle JML. So that's one example. So obviously the other opposite pair of angles are also congruent at the same time. So the next property is that consecutive angles are supplementary. So this means that two angles, when added together, it is equal to 180 degrees. So supplementary angles or consecutive angles are angles that shares the same side. So if I am going to go back to the figure, so angles that share the same side. So if I am going to focus on this side, then the angles that are considered consecutive are J and M. So angle J plus angle M is equal to 180 degrees. So that is one example, as long as they share a common side. The next property is that diagonals bisect each other. So what this means is that when the diagonals bisect each other, it means that they divide each other equally. So this side, a part of the diagonal is equal to the other half of this diagonal. And then this would also mean that this side or part of the diagonal would be equal to this part of the diagonal. They bisect each other. So bisect simply means something is divided equally. In this case, the diagonals divide each other equally. So in addition to these properties, we have also the properties down below. All sides are congruent. So in a rhombus, the sides are considered congruent. So if we are going to use this symbol, so all sides have the same measurement in a rhombus. The next property is that diagonals are perpendicular. So this means that the two diagonals, they bisect each other, and at the same time they create right angles. So right angle in the middle. So if the middle part of the figure are considered right angle, then therefore if we are going to only focus on one part of the figure, say for example this figure that I am trying to color in green, this triangle is considered right triangle. Why? Because this part of the angle is a right angle. So all of each of these triangles, the four triangles, are considered right triangles because of this property. Diagonals are perpendicular. The last property of a rhombus is that diagonals bisect opposite angles. So this means that the diagonals divide each other equally. So if we have this angle here and we also have this angle here, so they measure, these two angles measures exactly the same. And at the same time, they are going to be exactly the same as its opposite angles. So this is what we meant by diagonals bisect opposite angles. So let's use these properties to try and answer this example. If WXYZ is a rhombus, find each missing measure. So let us start with letter A. So A is to find XY. So since we are given with one side that is 27, and this is a rhombus, and we know that rhombus has all sides are congruent, then therefore XY is going to be 27 inches as well. WP is right here, WP. So if this is 21, then therefore WP is also 21 inches. Then the next one is PZ, and PZ is on this side of the figure. So because that is on this side of the figure, then let's try and focus on this triangle. So this triangle is considered a right triangle. So if I am going to redraw this figure on this side, so we can focus on just the unknown, and that unknown is PZ, and this is what is missing. Because the opposite of the right angle is WZ, and each of the sides are equal, so therefore this measures 27, this is 27, and this is 27. Each of the sides are 27 inches. So C, because this is opposite to the right angle, then 27 is considered the C, the hypotenuse, the longest side of the right triangle. This is 21 inches. So we can name this as A, or B. If I'm going to name that as my A, then this right here, the unknown, I'm going to name that as my B. So let's substitute this information into the formula. A squared plus B squared is equal to C squared. So my A is 21, B is unknown, C is 27. Squaring 21, that would be 441, plus the unknown, which is B square. 27 square is 729. Isolating B, I need to subtract 441 on both sides. So this will leave me with B square equals 288. I am going to extract the square roots on both sides, so B end up to be a decimal. Let's use tens place, so 16.9. So then therefore PZ is 16.9 inches. All right, let us focus on the angles this time. I am going to erase what we have just marked so we will not be confused about the markings. So in this case, we are asked to find measure of angle XZW. So XZW. So in a rhombus, the opposite angles bisect, the diagonals bisect opposite angles. So that means that if this angle here is 51, then therefore this angle will also be 51 degrees. So the measure of angle XZW is 51 degrees. The next unknown is measure of XWZ. XWZ. So it's this whole angle. So this whole angle. So I have to find this angle. So in order for us to find one angle right here, since we know that this is a right angle, so we can find one angle, this particular angle right here, by taking 180. Where did I get 180? So any triangle, any type of triangle, as long as it's a triangle, the sum of the measures of a triangle is always 180 degrees. So I'm gonna take 180 minus what I know. I know 51, one of the angles, and then I also know 90, so minus 90. So what is left is 39. So then therefore, this angle is 39 degrees. It also follows that this is 39 degrees because these two angles are going to be equal to each other. Opposite diagonals bisect opposite angles. So therefore, measure of angle XWZ is 39 plus 39. So 39 plus 39, which makes 78. So then therefore, this would be 78 degrees. And the last question for this problem is to find measure of angle Z. Z is down here. ZYW. ZYW. So we are referring to this angle. So since we already found this angle down here, then therefore this will also be 39 degrees. So this is going to be 39 degrees. Hopefully that makes sense. Let us try one more problem. If EFGH is a rhombus, find the measure of angle FGE. So this is the unknown. FGE is located FGE. So we need to find this angle here. It is missing. Now, since we can't find this missing angle unless we find the value of x, so we need to find the value of x first, and to find the value of x is to use the given. So going back to the property of a rhombus, so if we have diagonals, the diagonals bisect opposite angles, which means that these angles here are considered equal, then therefore we can set up our equation as 8x minus 49 equals 5x minus 7. Isolating x on one side of the equation, so I have to do inverse of negative 49. So that's positive 49 on both sides. Drop 8x equals 5x. Negative 7 plus 49 is 42. Positive 42. I need to bring the variable on the left side of the equation. So inverse of positive 5x is negative 5x. So this will leave me with 3x equals 42. Divide both sides by 3. X is equal to 14. Now, I found x. But the question is to find FGE. So I need to find this angle right here. So I am going to substitute. So 5 times 14 minus 7. That should be equal to 63. So if this angle is 63 degrees, then it is easier for us to find this angle now. Why? Because we know that this angle here is a right angle. because diagonals are perpendicular, meaning this part of the figure, it measures 90 degrees. So then to find the missing angle, we will just take 180, sum of the measures of any triangle, subtract what we know. So we know 63 degrees minus 90, and whatever is left is the measure of the missing angle, and that is equal to 27. So therefore, the measure of angle FGE is equal to 27 degrees. I hope you find value in this video. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.